Hello there, what's the story, what's the crack, how y'all keeping? This is the PandaPuncher, yes, PandaPuncher, and welcome to Let's Play some Hearts of Iron 4. This is actually the second time recording this episode. I had initially started a campaign as Italy, and as with my oxygen not included video, the settings were a bit off in terms of the lighting and stuff, so I decided, you know what, since this one hadn't been published, scrap it, and I'm going to actually play as Czechoslovakia this time round. We're going to... Czechoslovakia obviously starts off as, what, democratic, and traditionally in World War II they, you know, got stomped by Germany pretty early on, and we are not going to let that happen because we're going to join the Axis, as you do. We're going to keep it on recruit and historical AI focus, so for the most part the game progresses along historical lines. But yeah, let's just get stuck in. I absolutely adore this game. Owned it for quite a while now, but only after watching a few of another YouTubers' Let's Plays, I got the itch to play it, and I've played a few campaigns, so I have an idea of what's going on, but I wouldn't say that I'm particularly fantastic at it. You will see that in due course. I do have a mod installed. I have two mods installed, actually. Just quality of life ones. These are the coloured buttons mod. Normally these are all just the same colour, so you just tell the difference by... you can just tell the difference by the images, but this here makes it a wee bit easier. So, yeah, that's nice. Anyway, research slots. We start off with 3, and as usual, there is only 3 types of research to grab at the start of the game. No, there's a lot more than just 3, but there's 3 you should grab, and that's the 3 I've just chosen. Basically, boosts research time, construction speed, and, you know, your efficiency cap. So... what do we want to go to now? Free civilian factories. What we're going to want to do is grab some more civilian factories. Hopefully not max out too many regions, because we want to build... You know what? I'm not going to put anything in the Sudetenland, because I have a funny feeling we're going to lose it regardless of what option we decide to take in terms of our overall strategy. After they're all done, I suppose a bunch of... I want to get to at least 6 in infrastructure in each region. Yeah. Okay. That should do that for now. Again, I have no idea what I'm really doing. This is the other mod I've installed. This expands the production queue, which just means you can keep track of things a lot quicker. You don't have 10 different small arms things being produced, because you've got a lot. You can fit in a lot more factories here. You can put 50. And of course you got the double widescreen, so you aren't scrolling trying to find the stuff that you're producing. We have 3. This is a bit of 3 being used. So we want to crack that up, and there we go. We will want some artillery, and that'll use up all of our factories, and that's fine for now. Again, Czechoslovakia does not start with the greatest military in the world. We shall grab all of our divisions, sign into one army, and let's get a general in here. Field Marshal, what's his max planning, max entrenchment, combat width, planning speed, armor, and winter attrition. He will be pretty good to have when we push against the Soviet Union, but we'll talk about our plans as Czechoslovakia shortly once we look at the national focuses. But for now, let's just take this guy and start training. So at the moment we have a bunch of infantry, some cavalry, and a pair of mountain divisions. Let's see how our divisions are actually broken down. So it's basically standard 3x3 for infantry. We should, once we get some XP, we'll add in these bits and pieces and boost our divisions. Manpower is non-existent, so there's no point training anyone right now. So let's take a look at our national focuses. The key ones are going to be... well, over here we'll have your air, sea and land stuff, so boosting trip types and various research bonuses for, say, researching, I don't know, the next level of weapons, infantry weapons. Strategic decisions. So we can appease the Germans, trust in the West, go on our own, or what's this? Set the rule, can send volunteer forces. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. It would be interesting to go down this line at some point, create some sort of our own mini alliance. Obviously we go down with the West and hope that they can bail us out whenever the Germans demand our land. But to be honest, we are going to, quickly as possible, give over the Sudetenland. I think. Although here political directions, we could become communist. That's not going to happen. We could go fascist, which is probably the line we're going to do, considering we're going to be appealing to the Germans. And then over here we have our... This is one here that you would do if you were trying to very quickly find a way to defend the Sudetenland, because you'd get some fortifications and yeah, sort of just hold your own, hold Czechoslovakia. Industrial legacy means we'll get a conversion to military factory conversion cost. That's boring. Then we get a bunch of industry perks if we go down this line. It's all just production costs and caps and stuff, and yeah, a bunch of factories and various bits and pieces. So first and foremost, I think it might be, we'll just go with this one. They're both political power needed at some point. Insufficient resources. We are short on tungsten and aluminium, and yeah, it's going to stay short for a while because I'm not going to dedicate any factories to that. And let's just jump it up to speed 5 because there's not really much we can do at the moment. So we're going to join the Axis, which means most of our focus will be on the East and the Soviet Union. So hopefully the Soviet Union, which has a habit of doing in Hearts of Iron 4, no matter sort of what playthrough, gets bogged down in Asia, and we can sort of just power through and take Moscow as quickly as possible. Obviously, we're going to have our eyes on Hungary, Romania. Actually, this whole region here, I would like for it to become ours. Hopefully, Italy stays out of the war and just, you know, be quiet and doesn't bother anyone, so we can focus on this region. Because I think once we join the Axis, we'll help push into Poland whenever that eventually breaks out. But once that's over, I want to be able to turn our focus this way. But yeah, we're just at a moment of the game now where not a lot is going on. Our military is training. They're actually all getting attritioned. You know what? You can stop now. Oh, there's the first thing. Remilitarization of the Rhineland. So the Nazis are on the march. Let's select our next national focus. So if we do this, gains appeasement. So it's just an opinion boost. And then we can give this to the Germans. And that's fine and dandy. We don't really have to worry about it just yet because it is only 1936. So we're going to jump into this one. And then now we can modify our government. So with political power, we can obviously spend on average, it's usually around 150, and we can change our recruitment policy. So at the moment we're volunteer only, which is why we only have 1.5% for population recruitable, manpower of 0 now. Disarm nation is just something, why would you even bother loading the game? Limited conscription. So we could jump to that now, but it's not our priority because again we don't have any immediate early intention of getting into any wars. So, but essentially, as soon as a war breaks out, we'll want extensive conscription and all that kind of stuff. Export focus, resources to market, free trade. Well, when the war starts breaking out, we will want to limit the exports that are going out and keep as many of the resources that we produce ourselves in our own country to focus on our war economy. And then speaking of economy, we will want to as quickly change over to this as quickly. We want to change over to this as quickly as possible, with the goal of it being a war economy. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably get, because we're a small country, we won't have a big industrial base to start with. We may end up at total mobilization, which isn't really great, but oh well. Then we have a bunch of stuff we can do, getting tank designers, which is boosts to research on tanks, and you can get industrial concern, boost to that kind of stuff. I'm not sure what I want to... It is important to me that we get the fascist demagogue at some point, because we are going to go down that direction, but we can't get him yet, so there's no point choosing a political advisor. Not too concerned with that, so we're going to grab industrial concern, which means it reduces our industrial research time by 10%. So that sounds perfect. No template for what? Towed artillery. Yes, I know. We don't have any points yet to actually add towed artillery to our military, so quit your whining. Low manpower and insufficient resources. So unlike other nations, if we had started as Italy, we'd be already, you know, we'd be doing exactly what Italy's doing right now, and that's eating Ethiopia. And there's our first research complete. And so we could jump into mechanical computing and get a research boost of 3%. Reinforcement rate, not really a concern right now. There's nothing else we can grab here at the moment. But we will want to grab one of these whenever this pops in 35 days time. But what we should do is probably look elsewhere. Now, we are going to be focusing on, you know, Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union. So you know what? We want to get motorized. I think that would be quite important, because if we get motorized, that allows us to... Where is it now? That allows us to get field hospital, which saves us the manpower whenever we actually do get into combat, because we aren't a big nation. We're never going to have the world's biggest manpower. We are going to be piggybacking on German success and hopefully just pushing a few things down the road. One of the benefits of being Czechoslovakia is that it was historically a nation that had good tank development and lots of tank factories and all that kind of stuff, which is why it was a target in the first place. And yeah, we start off with 3 light tanks already researched, so we will want to get some of them into production as soon as possible. But as soon as 39 comes around, or maybe even late 30th, we're going to jump into the mediums and then just focus on the mediums. We could... I do want to focus on artillery, especially at the start, but we can worry about that later. Land doctrines. Ooh, don't want to research any of them yet. Not sure which one I'm going to go for. I'll probably go for superior firepower, since I'm going to have artillery throughout all my divisions. Or you could go for the grand battle plans and, you know, be methodical about everything. But again, cross that bridge when we get it. We don't have a port, so we have like literally no naval tech, which is more than understandable. It's probably something we'll grab quite late into the game and late into the war if we haven't been annihilated. So the doctrines for it again are the same. Now, air is definitely something we'll be wanting to improve. So at the moment we only have our level 1 fighter and the 1936 close air support. Again, these are the 2 things we're going to be focusing on grabbing. If we ever get to a stage where we want nukes and stuff, then we'll grab the strategic bombers and things like that. But for now, we'll be focused on these 2 trees, and then maybe eventually jet engines and some jet planes near the end of the game. And again, because of that, because we don't really have much of an air force, we don't have to worry about any of this stuff for now. So let's just keep going. And the next thing we'll have to deal with is probably this in like 60 days time. And we will want to get something to... Oh, we can modify our government again. That is fucking fantastic. No. Don't care much about the tanks. Military theorist, army experience gain, +5 daily. You know what? I think I want that. Or do I? Don't need to worry about any of those other ones yet. None of these are really worth getting at the minute. We can boost the political power gain, which means we'll be able to more quickly make these kind of decisions. But what's this? Non-core manpower. That's probably something we'll want to get at some point, so we can grab recruitable people from territory that technically isn't ours, but we've occupied. But for now, military theorist. I want that daily experience boost. So I do. How is production coming along? So yeah, because we're not training anyone, we're not doing anything crazy, we hope to correct this deficit of infantry equipment we have, 3.7 thousand units, and then build a wee bit of a stockpile. Basic machine tools is complete. So, only 2 options, really. And the difference here is that if you think you're going to get bombed quite a bit, disperse your industry so that you don't take as big a hit. But I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm going to go for concentrated industry and the various boosts it gives me, and we'll just go from there. How is this coming along? So we only have 9 military or civilian factories doing anything right now. Italy has taken Ethiopia. Right, next national decision. So we could go right. So the Germans will like us more, obviously. And then once we have the go right, we will then be able to hire the fascist demagogue. And actually, let's just grab this now. I know I'm sort of like, normally when I play Hearts of Iron, I focus purely on getting industry boosts and free civilian factories and everything like that. But since it's so early, and I just don't have to deal with the German problem until, you know, well, never really. Can't get the guy yet, so we shall grab. See, if I had waited, grab that, we could have got, yeah. What shall we go with? Army offense, division attack plus 10. Recovery rate, I think, will be good, but it's not something we really have to worry about too much at the minute. Army logistics, attrition minus 8%. I kind of like the sound of that. I also like the sound of getting that right now. Yeah, let's limited conscription. I mean, it's not going to allow us to build a bunch of divisions or anything, but actually what we could do is we could grab... No, it's not what I'm trying to do. No. Wait. There we go. We could convert these over to... let's go into... Right, we've got construction 1. We need 22,000 manpower, that's fine. That's fine, yeah. Let's convert them over to mountain divisions because, you know, at the start, they'll come in handy. No divisions in basic training. Yes, I already know that because I'm not training any. And let's see now. It's ahead of time, so we can focus on... Ooh. Probably should grab this. Because it's quite important that we get up to... What is it? The encryption, decryption stuff so that, you know, we can get more information on the combatants around us. And see what they're up to, their division size and everything like that. And I would like to get some divisions of basic training. Maybe we could do like home guard type divisions, really stripped down, and eventually you'd add military police to them so that they can do a wee bit of quelling unrest whenever we start occupying land and territory around the place. So yeah, all is quiet in the world for the most part. Nobody is doing anything too insane except the Spanish Civil War is about to pop. I would say at some point. And here we go. Right, we've got go right. So we can't do that until we're more than 35% fascist support, but we could do German appeasement. I think we can take a break from that at the moment. I do want to get it over and done with though. Gains national industrial legacy, which grants civilian to military conversion costs and civilian factory construction. We'll grab this one now just to get the construction speed of our civilian factories up, because that will obviously help us in the long run. And we do have 10 military points, so I'll keep pausing things. Let's edit these. I think it'd be very important to, as soon as possible, get support artillery out into our military. So the games of whatever. Modify government. I know who we're getting. Fascist demagogue. Welcome to the party. I know it's a communist thing. Shush. So yeah, the basic aim overall is obviously not to die early in the war, to conquer the Soviet Union. I would like to carve out this part of the world as primarily Czechoslovakian. And then if we have time or the resources, or if the game's still not lagging from everything that's happening, fascist sympathies in the military. The national spirit outranks the government. Unless things go too crazy, maybe we could conquer most of Africa, a good chunk of Asia, and we'll see how the war in the West goes for Germany, and then consider whether or not to help out, or even to by ourselves, take on the might of the United States. Okay, let's get some more research on the go. So I think it'd be important to grab this right now. Get our military as good as possible, as quickly as possible, considering the fact that we aren't expanding the size of our military, I think it's good to get what we have boosted as much as possible. So, we could go for this, and is there anything here that puts anything in Sudetenland? Because there'd be no point. See, this one gives you a civilian factory in Bohemia, one in Western Slovakia, and one infrastructure. 2 buildings. Again, it's pretty much the same throughout, except at the bottom here, removes the national spirit divided nation, which actually is something we never looked at. So we have Skoda Works, which gives our factory output 10%. We've divided nation, so national unity minus 20%, recruitable population takes a half a percentage point hit. And yeah, that's what we're going to do this time around. I think the last time I played as Czechoslovakia, I went down this one, but I'm going to go for this and get rid of that debuff. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. But let's see, what does this give us? Army experience plus 10, and then we could have what? Mountaineer technology, infantry weapons. I'm not too fussed on that at the minute. So what we shall do is we'll go for this. Start. And I think once we choose one more level of research, that'll probably be it for this video. Radio's not really that important at this stage. Field hospital is very important. It's not crucial right now, but it is what it is. So yeah, that I think is a good enough place to leave this one for now. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to see what we can do with Czechoslovakia. But this video is over, so please, 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 please go away until next time, folks. Good luck and goodbye.